here we have our first keynote speaker of Friday, Kirill Makharinsky. He is the founder of Enki. And yeah, Kirill, thank you very much for your great keynotes. I would love to know who is Enki and who is Kirill, most of all.
Technically, Enki was the first developer, which is why I named the company after Enki. We help professionals learn coding and data skills in a really, really effective way. So we got a mobile app that's free for individuals, and then for teams and companies, we've got like a solution that works really well to train up a big team.
It's amazing. And Kirill, who are you?
Well, I grew up in the UK, in London, near London, and spent most of my work life in Silicon Valley, and so mostly based in California. I've been an entrepreneur since forever. As soon as I realized, thank God, in university I wasn't going to be an academic, I decided to just build technology and build products and build startups. And I started a data analytics company called Quid, which is doing well. It's a B2B company, has raised $108 million. Then worked in a hotel booking company that is now about 150 million net revenue a year. So it's doing very well. And now I'm working on Enki and trying to help every company and professional fulfill their potential.
Wow, love it. What a great energy. Thank you very much. So you mentioned in your keynote that developers have a unique advantage. Or what did you mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, they have a very big unfair advantage, which, when I was starting out 15 years ago, it was kind of a bit niche. Everyone thought that you need the business guy to kind of be the voice of the customer, to really, do things that typically a CEO would do. And now, as proven by some of the most valuable companies in the world. Adobe just bought Figma, run by technical folks for 20 billion. Technical team. Same thing with Stripe, Google. These huge companies are being built by developers. And why is that? The main reason is that every single step that's critical early on, while the startup is really early and is in the larval stage, it's just made so much easier if you're closer to the product and if you're building the thing, right? And even starting from the beginning, when you're coming up with the ideas, the best way to come up with ideas is something that fulfills your inner intellectual curiosity, right? And kind of the best hackers and developers, they build because they're intellectually curious, right? And so that's usually the best way to come up with ideas. And then building it, you don't need anyone else, you don't need to hire anyone else, which is hard. Finding co-founders is hard, so you don't need to do that. And then once you're live and you're out in the market, the most important thing you can do is listen to customers, understand what they need, and just keep iterating and trying to get to the point where you've struck this nerve, which results in growth. And so, again, if you're a developer, you can do that so much more effectively than if you've got kind of a middleman or woman who is kind of project managing or doing the business stuff. You need that kind of team. You need that operational product work as you scale. But at that beginning stage, it's a huge unfair advantage if you can be the one that's building it and iterating and have the capacity to do it yourself.
That's actually a great segue to my next question. That would be like one of the products or co-products of a hackathon like this is actually that companies can be started here. So what advice would you give to young entrepreneurs that maybe just get together right here in this festival for the future, or how they could start their own business?
Yeah, I mean, this is great, right? Because the toughest thing as an entrepreneur, especially before, especially in Europe 15 years ago, in the States it was a bit more normal, but it was quite a lonely experience. It's like you didn't really know who to go to for advice. Back when I was starting out, there weren't many people like this just building things and knowing that the chances are maybe small, but they can definitely succeed, right? Just from here. And so the first thing is do things like this where it's like you're not just building by yourself, not in a silo, but you're building with others, even if you're not working with them. Be able to kind of get the energy, get ideas, get best practices of how you can get your thing started. Other than that, I mean, just advice is, again, to build. The most important thing is build what not just you want, but even though that sometimes helps with the ideation, but it can lead you down a blind alley. The most important thing is enough people out there want what you're building enough, urgently, and enough to pay you for it. And so just that's the most important thing to figure out, and kind of keep iterating and changing. You're not going to figure it out immediately. It's just too hard. It never happens. Yeah. And so just keep plugging away, believe in yourself, and don't give up, you'll get there.
Wow, that's awesome. Like in generating ideas, you talked about, you know, like finding, maybe starting by scratching your own itch or finding the itches of other people. I mean, most of the people, especially on Friday, like this today and right now, people are like starving to find ideas right now. So where to start? To find an idea?
Two big areas I'd focus on. One is something that you really, really care enough about to spend 5, 10, 15 years of your life working on, right? And actually it's a very, one of the good ways to find ideas is instead of just finding an idea that just sounds good and like sounds kind of impressive and non-embarrassing, is actually just push the boat out a bit and just work on something you're deeply intellectually curious about. I mean, that's how Google got started. So there's that aspect. And the second thing is it needs to be something that enough people want so it could become a business, right? And so the intersection of those things, it's you know, if you can get those right, that's pretty powerful.
That's also very powerful advice. Thank you very, very much, Kirill. And I hope to see you around here.
Yeah, thanks guys.
So thank you very much.